Okay, this is a 2013 Polaris switchback, the 800 engine. Um, we're going to be putting a engine durability kit in this, and it's the reason is because there's nothing wrong with the sled. He just wants to do this basically for preventive maintenance. The person owning this heard that there's a lot of these sleds season up on the top half prematurely, and then I did a little research, and I didn't find much on YouTube, but I did find a couple of forums that there are a shit ton of these going down way too premature. This particular one has 3,000 miles on it, so it's not a bad idea to get the top half rebuilt anyway, but we're going to put that engine durability kit in, and then throughout the season the 2015-16 season, we're just going to monitor it, get a engine compression test before and after, just see how things are going with this thing, see how it holds up. But anyway, I thought I'd show a little video on some of the stuff we're going to do to it, and like I said, monitor it through the year just to see. Again, there was nothing wrong with the sled, so it's possible that nothing would have ever went wrong with it, but he did say there's a lot of people that are having problems with this, and I did find that online that is the case. So we're going to put a little kit and see if that'll solve the problem. I think what I'm looking at here is initially when I took the hood off and just kind of perusing things, I found this little window open here, which is kind of weird, but it turns out it's like a timing gear window. It's just exposed like that. It was just a little weird. So anyways, here we go. Alright, it looks like there's like the letter A, there's a beginning of a piece of tape, and then B is the end of it. You can see like where C is. Looks like there was tape there, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tape it back up. Okay, here, sorry about the recording level there. I realized the recording level was only like minimum, so here I'm just looking at a piece here. This air box to the right, I had to take that clutch off, the driven clutch there, because to get that air box out, the handlebars were kind of in the way. I couldn't go straight up, so I'd have to go sideways there, dig it out that way, so I'd have to go that way with the clutch. Basically, once the air box is out, here's a picture of it, I can get to everything from that point, but the reason I took the air box out is because he wants the reeds done, so I'm also going to put new reeds in there, aftermarket reeds. But from this point, you can get to the engine, top half of it, and start destroying it. Just take it apart. So that's what I did next. Okay, here everything looks good. The crosshatch marks are still in it. I can see, I'm going to obviously deglaze them and hold them up a little bit, but when I took the pistons out, well, they're still in it at this point. But look at that green, that white stuff on the antifreeze. I'm not sure what that was. A little funky. But once I got the pistons out, everything looked good, and the rods, everything was good. Once we get this kit and put it in, I'm sure it'll be fine. But here's a picture of the rods and whatnot. So like I said, I'll clean that all up and get everything back together with the new kit. But look at this starter. Is that thing unbelievable? Now's the best time to get at it. But if you have to replace this, it's like a little worm gear attached to the starter. It's kind of weird. Anyways, if you Google this, Polaris Rush or Assault, switchback, you're going to find a lot of forums about these blown up sleds, but not much on YouTube. In fact, this is the only one I could find that actually had a problem, so that's why I wanted to make this video, just to post on YouTube. Maybe that'll help somebody out. I don't know, but I hope this guy don't mind I swiped his video off the internet here. So okay, granted this guy was riding somebody, so a little extra weight, but still. Anyway, these are some pictures he had of it totally melting that piston. It's like unbelievable. But I guess that's what's happening with these sleds. That looks like the same head I'm working on, but again, I don't know the details of the sled, but from the pictures it looks exactly the same. And that's what this guy was dealing with. So again, that's the only thing I could find on YouTube. So we're going to go ahead and put this kit that supposedly solves this problem. And what I'm going to do is monitor this. I'll do some updates after I post this just to see how things are going. But that's where we're at right now.
There's a few parts that came in. These reeds, motor Tazaneri, V-Force. Supposedly, well, we got smoother, stronger power with V-Force. I'm just going to look these right quick. I mean, basically, you know, they're just supposedly a little upgrade from these. I mean, they're just plastic, but I'll compare them when I get the other reeds out. It might have a little different design going on with the shape of the V there, but and the pedals, I think, instead of plastic or whatever stock uses, these are, what do you call that, carbon fiber or whatever, but we'll see what happens. But the other thing I wanted to get to is that that upgrade for the pistons came in. I want to show that. Alright, I got these from a company named Bikeman. Apparently these are, supposedly is the durability kit that's, you know, supposedly taking up the slack for these blown pistons, but as you can see, there's a spacer plate here and some it looks like two gaskets. I just wanted to look at you know, there's some rings in here. I just wanted to get a comparison of the old piston and the new piston. Let me clean this bench off. Okay, right off the bat you can see there's a height difference, but you know, that's what that spacer's for. What I also noticed is the new ones have a lot more, I'm assuming just to get oil in there, but see there's 4 on this side and 4 on that side, which the stock one doesn't even have any. You know, they're just plain, like a plain piston, no holes, so I kind of like that. That's pretty nifty. But again, no way to know until, you know, this sled is ridden a while if this thing's going to hold up to what it's saying it does. But just wanted to show that it's actually, I got these from Dennis Kurtz, and like I said, Bikeman Performance Engine Durability Kit. Then I went on this Bikeman website. I'll probably put some stuff in the links for that, but you know, they got a whole thing going on. So they had a couple of tips too about turning up your oil pump, and a couple other tips on there. I'll probably include that in this video, but I just wanted to show that real quick. That's where I'm at. I do want to while I have everything off, I want to take these rings off, see where the ring end gap is at with the old ones, and then pop a new one in, see if there's any difference in the ring gap, because I'm going to just deglaze the hone. I don't think, you know, well, let me get to that. Before I get to that, there is another difference here. Yeah, it ain't going to focus, but there it goes. Yeah, you can't see the bad lighting, but this this side here, this space between the rings is a lot smaller. Again, I'm using my phone, so it's not there to, it's a lot, I say a lot smaller. In millimeters, it's a lot smaller. This gap here is bigger. So there's the ring gap is it's a taller ring gap aside from these holes that I noticed. So there's that, and of course the height difference. But let me get to that. I want to measure the ring gap on the old one and the new one, see if they're within tolerance. All right, I'm going to measure the ring end gap here, and probably it's going to be hard to do with one hand because I'm too lazy to go and get my other camera with a tripod. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this ring in there, and hold on. So get the ring in there a little bit. As you can see the end gap there, it'll focus eventually, but just push the piston in a little bit, an inch or two, just to get the ring square. And let's take a measurement here. Now this is the old ring, of course, and I should have done this compression test just to compare all the notes. But all right, so the stock end gap, or the ring end gap there, should be between 0.17 and 0.025. I'm not going to use millimeters, way too many numbers. So I pulled up a variety of them, anywhere from 17 on the low side and a few others in between, and then the high side. But this kit that it came with, the actual instructions, you know, theirs is claiming should be at least, which is the minimum there, 15 to 17. So how about a 20? Yeah, let's go with a 21. See if that does the trick. It's a little on the. See, I can feel it. Well, that actually might be the one. Goes in there, and it's just a little bit of a tug coming out. Maybe a little too much. There it goes. It fits in there, no problem. So I'm going to call it. There it goes. That's probably it. 20 to 21. So we're within specs. The next one I want to do is I want to put the new ring in there. Okay, I put that new ring in, and right away I could feel it. It was way tighter going in, and then I measured everything, and 21 wouldn't fit, no way. But it's still, even by OEM specs, I got it at a 17, so that's on the low end. But the kit, you know, they're saying minimum 15 to 17, so I think we're good. We're right on the low side, nice and tight. Again, I still got to deglaze this, hone it up a little bit, so that might change things a little bit. But right now, it just slides in there, and getting it out, it's got a you know, tug on it. So it's measuring 17 right there with a new ring. So I think that'd be good, especially once I throw a little 330 grit stone in there and clean it up. So I think it'll be fine. Let's check out. It's within spec. And I flipped it around, and the other cylinder is, you know, I had a 17 over on the other side, and this is actually with the same feeling going in and out. It's a 19, so it's you know, con hair bigger, but still within specs. Just, I mean, deglaze it because it's Nicosil. I'm just gonna, you know, there's no chance of actually pouring that out or nothing. So I'm gonna use this fine stone, honing stone. Just basically, you know, like I said, deglaze it. You can see a little shiner. There's still some cross hatches going on from, you know, factory, but I'm just gonna shine that. I mean, deglaze that at the hell can't even speak. Oil all over the place. I don't know if you can see that, but let's see if I can get a light. And it's bad lighting, but that's basically what you want, is just these cross hatches. You don't want them really horizontal, of course, but anyways, deglaze before we install. I don't know if that's coming out of the camera or not. I'll be able to see that on the camera. Now them cross hatches, like I said, was shiny before, and you want to kind of just, again, this is Nicosil. I'm not worried about actually taking any material off with a fine stone. You basically just want to deglaze it. So that's about what we've achieved here. That might be a better view with the light in the background, what you're looking for. Anyways, this basically just deglaze this fucker. Then wash it out with some soap and water, maybe a brush or two. After wash it out, rinse it out, then we'll start this assembly, get this puppy on the road. Go spray that down, be good to go. After it's cleaned up, I'm just going to add a little assembly lube in here just to keep things from oxidizing. I'll just go around and get a little light film on there. A little two-stroke oil in there, coated the walls. Keep that thing nice and wet. The reason I left these alone is I didn't want to have to buy the gaskets and the exhaust. Just leave that on, just to try to save a little money. I mean, that kit alone was close to $500 just for the pistons. Not to mention, you know, all the O-rings and everything you need to put everything back together. So it's running around $800 with no labor at all, just parts. So, you know, to get these, take these off. What I noticed with these is, if their bellows are bad, you'll see oil leaking out of here. So these are dry as a bone. I'm not going to disturb anything, because then you got to, you know, Loctite and everything else, gaskets. Just leave everything the way it is. Unless you had some oil seeping out of the gasket or something, I wouldn't mess with that. That's just my opinion. Well, like I said, now all I got to do is I'll go ahead with seafoam or something, clean all this crap up better, a little better. It's pretty clean, but clean up a little better, and start putting things back together. That's about where I'm at right now. Thing I wanted to show before I cleaned everything up, just the you know, the carbon deposit and stuff, in case you want to compare it if you're doing this yourself. Maybe a blown engine, you know, compared to a normal running engine. I mean, this, like I said, this had no problems. This engine was fine, and does have carbon buildup. It's kind of hard to see, just bad lighting I got, but you know, to me that looks normal, but I don't do this tear apart two-stroke snowmobile engines all the time, so, you know, not really, don't have nothing to gauge it with, but just figured I'd show it. To me that looks normal carbon deposit, and it comes right off. Like I said, I'll just take some seafoam, clean all that up, make it nice and shiny before I put everything back together. And this cover, there's nothing wrong with this thing. Anyways, oh, let me show the piston, just in case you didn't see that, the carbon on that. Again, to me this looks like normal carbon. That's not a scratch or anything. I mean, it is, but it's from, you know, sitting on this dirty bench. So I think that's normal. Again, I don't do this for a living, so I wouldn't have nothing to compare it to as far as, you know, I do little lawnmower engines and shit, but this looks pretty normal to me. There was nothing wrong with the sled, like I said, but anyways, just thought I'd show you, just to, I mean, that's a pretty good shot there. It's normal. I mean, you can still see writing on the, you know, so I think that's normal. Not even bad. I mean, but anyways, I just wanted to show that. This is fine. Everything checked out with this, so he did want to do it just in case. I mean, to me that looks like normal carbon buildup. So one other thing about that kit, did come with some longer head bolts, and also these hollow dowel pins inside the bag, but I'm assuming they're a little bit longer to take up the gap for the space. Yeah, I just took one out. They are considerably longer. I mean, basically that's the size of the spacer, so you do need to pull the old ones out, focus, and you know, they come right off. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. Here's another thing I wanted to show. This is basically the back of the engine there. This is where the air box would be. But you see this little yellow, wish I had a better light, but I don't. That little yellow jam nut with the screw in the middle, it's the oil pump adjustment. I'm going to loosen that jam nut and turn that screw one rotation, one full turn to the right. It's been recommended by this Bikeman corporation. You know, if you're going to put a big bore kit in this, they're actually turning that sucker three full turns, and they're calling for got some sort of you know, I'm not even sure what you call it, computerized you know, throttle control or whatever. They're calling for 1.5 turns, but I'm just going to do the 1 turn because they're saying even on a stock sled you should turn it up 1, provide more oil. So that's what I'm going to do for that. Just want to show this before I clean it up. Again, this sled ain't that bad. I mean, I have to take these reeds out and replace them. I might show a little bit of that, but other than that, we're almost going to put this thing back together here real soon. Taking out these reeds, and you know, they look okay. I'm just saying, compared to the new ones, there is a little bit of a difference. That centerpiece there is no longer there on this one, and you know, these two guys on the side here, I'm assuming that's just to limit how far they open, and the stock reeds did not have that. I don't know if there's anything inside the cage there. I don't think so, but anyway, the major difference is right here in the center. You know, those pedals are only going to open so far, and these look like they have a little more travel, just like your intake and exhaust valves, you know, on a 4-stroke. But so, and these pedals are actually carbon fiber, supposed to be better, I guess, but you know, it seems to me they could open further. Don't know the details, not an engineer, but just showing you the difference in the two. We're going to slap them babies in there, supposedly smoother, crisper, faster, who knows. We'll see what happens. But let's look at them side by side. They're basically the same, but just a little bit different. I mean, these are plastic. This piece in the middle appears to be some sort of aluminum. And flipping them over, and we can see, again with the bad lighting, flip them over. You can see they're close in design, although this one appears to have separate chambers, as this one, you know, it's longer, you know, just this chamber is wide open, although there are some plastic inserts a little further down, as you can see. And in here, they're kind of just all the way down, separate compartments. It's kind of interesting. Anyways, we'll throw them in, see what happens. Looks like the holes line up. I really don't think you can go wrong with these as far as you know, how they install. Just grab yourself a reed and a gasket, and it's just basically, yeah, I got the one in there, but I don't think you can mess it up, because I mean, I think these would work either way, this side up or this side up, because nothing's really marked, you know, as far as this side up. But we're going to go ahead with the V-Force logo, assuming that's going to be up. Nobody's going to want to put it down so you can't read it, although you're never going to see it in this sled anyways. But there's a little bit of a squeeze going in, just because I think these things are squeezing, just hitting a little bit. If you want to look in, I don't know if you can see down in there, but it's bad lighting, but they're hitting the block a little bit, but I think that's the way it's supposed to be. There we go. That's basically how it goes in right there. And that's it. Just push them in. And we'll put some gaskets on this side. Put everything back together. Start. Okay, the reeds are in. Everything is good. Nothing really to note except for this plate is not metal, so be careful you don't over torque your bolts. Hook your throttle body back up, and nothing else to report. So those first aftermarket parts fit right in. They didn't.
Okay, moving on to the durability kit. These are just the dowel pins, or hollow dowel pins there. I just removed the old ones and replaced them with the new ones a little deeper there, you can see there. And then start putting the gasket in. Under that's the plate there, but there'll be a gasket underneath that and a gasket on top of that. Don't forget them. But everything's explained in the kit. So
Wrist pin and roller pin bearing there. I'm going to put some assembly lube on it just to help with the break-in period. But in case you're wondering, that's the part number for bearing. 35. Things. This one has a label on it. Exhaust. Oh shit! It's not really focusing. Too shiny. Exhaust. Make sure your piston's in the right way. But I'm going to go ahead and install one of these C-clips now.
Okay, I know this video is all over the place, but what's going on is, I just work on it when I get some time. So basically, I probably skipped a lot of steps here, so sorry about that. But just putting this thing back together, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's how you took it apart. But here we go. I mean, here we got the roller pin. Just I used assembly lube to put everything together. Don't forget that. And then the piston's up there. Put the piston in. The other C-clip. Like I said, it's self-explanatory. But just gotta, here's everything's ready to go. I'm ready to put the gasket. I mean the cylinder back on top. So we're gonna do that next.
But the rings. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, just had it a second ago. That says top. Trust me, it says top. Just from folks. Anyway, there's marking on the top there. Sometimes it'll be a little divot mark or whatever marking you got. But if there are no markings for whatever reason, if you look close, it's tapered. Yeah, this shitty. And it won't focus, but if you look close, it's tapered, and you want to have the tapered side up. The flat side. This is the flat side. You want to have that down. The taper side would be up in case there is no marking, but this says top on it, so there's no way to mess that up. And well, I put some oil on there, some two-stroke oil, lubed all the pistons up because I'm going to drop the cylinder over it. And again, I can't film it because I've only got one hand, and kind of need to pay attention here. But that's where we're at. Just the pistons are in there. I'm going to drop the cylinder head over it now. But like I said, I just wanted to lube up them pistons. Just help really assist it in there. And getting it now is a little bit problematic because the steering post, it's just in the goddamn way. But I finally finagled it, and just wanted to point out, just rotate the clutch a little bit just to make sure. I mean, the head's not bolted on, of course, but I just want to make sure, your rings, nothing's really impeding or scraping before you start bolting things down. I already went up and down on both sides before you crush the gasket, in case you got to take it apart again. But that's one thing I forgot to mention. Down here there's two gaskets. One goes underneath the spacer plate, then the spacer plate, and then another gasket on top. But like I said, this ain't bolted down yet. I'm just kind of sitting it there just to, like I said, make sure everything's going up and down.
Okay, like I said, I apologize for jumping all around, but it's like, a week will go by, I'll get back to it, so I'll kind of forget where I left off or, what's going on. So the video probably, just jumping around. Again, not much I can do about it. I'm just kind of going as I go. But right here, it looks like we're, the cylinder's on. doesn't look like there's head bolts in there yet, but we're going to go ahead and, well, there you go. There is a torque sequence. I think I got a picture of that. I'll probably, hold on, let me include that right now. Actually, I don't have a torque sequence of this pattern, but just go start in the center there and start crisscrossing and go back and forth, typical X pattern, you know. But anyways, torqued them down to, it's, I think 37 to 46. Again, I'm gonna have to look that up, but as a matter of fact, well, that's the dirty head cover. Hold on a second. Let me see if I get some torque specs here. Hold on.
Oddly enough, I say oddly enough, the cylinder head bolts are 46 pounds, but you know, no Loctite or nothing. It's saying like no anti-seize to threads. I mean, there is on this on the head cover, but you know, so I'm just gonna put the bolts in straight. And I do have a pattern here for the, what the hell is it, for the bolt pattern, torque pattern rather. 1, 2, 3, I don't know if you can see that, I'll take a picture of it. That's about it on that.
Okay, that last photo was not the head bolts there, but they are up to 46 pounds. Just use a crisscrossing pattern. You'll be fine. Start in the center, work your way out. This is just a picture of the dirty head there. That previous picture of the bolt pattern torque is for this guy. But that being said, this is a little dirty, so we clean it up. Again, you know, it's all over the place with this video as far as time space goes. I mean, it looks like it's all flowing here, but this is weeks gone by. So that's cleaned up there, and that's all I can say about that. And I'm apparently gonna put the O-rings in and, you know, staple this thing back up and get closer to our ultimate goal here. And it's still just October, so we got plenty of time. There's no hurry. But
I wanted to point out is on this gasket here, not the there's a gasket underneath this, you know, in here. That one can go either way. But this one has a, I don't know if it'll focus there, has, let me get it out of there. And you see how this has, yeah, I'll never focus on it. It's got like a dual ridge on the top there, and just a single ridge on the bottom. Drop that single ridge in first, because the cover itself has a protrusion coming down that'll fit in that crushes that down in there. So just be sure you don't put it upside down or you'll have some water leak. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. And of course the O-rings, they can go, no, either way. But so before I torque this down, put the head on there, I did want to point out the rubber seal in between the cylinder cover here, or the cylinder head. It can go either way, like I said, but that top one is one way.
Alright, I'm back. So today I plan on getting this thing back together. As you can see there, I painted that cover. But anyways, so just basically gonna piece everything back together, see how it goes. I did run into one problem with the subframe on the top there. That sucker was bent, but I'll show you a little bit of that. Alright, those cover bolts, you gotta treat the top of them with some kind of silicone or RTV. So I use that gray stuff because your water jacket's right under there. But
pattern that's even close to working is getting these two bolts started. These four are in, but look at this. It's way off. Like not even close. It's just too goddamn hard to bend, so I don't have anything to persuade that with, and I don't want to break any ears off, so I gotta figure that out. But then I remembered I think this side got hit, so it might have tweaked stuff, so when I took it apart it just flexed back to, you know, where it was bent. But I'll have to figure something out because I can't. Okay, she's in. It all bolt started. What a pain in a cocksucker. I mean, I might have marred up the aluminum a little bit, but this thing was tweaked pretty good. Anyway, it's all started, so now I can torque them down. But I had to get out my little pry bar. All right, there you have it. She's all put together, minus the muffler, of course, body panels, but she's all wired up. All the hoses are in place. Looking good. Maybe tomorrow I'll fire it up. I don't know. Just gotta look up. Oops. That's a little silicone there on the bolts there. I'll have to clean that up when it dries. But we're looking good, man. Everything's back together. Sweet. Just looking over a few things. Well, here we go. We're just put the top on for now. I didn't get it bolted down yet, but just gonna see if this puppy starts. Cross your fingers. I don't see any display. Degrees, they're a little warm up, shut her down. Oh, it's fucking smoky in here. Whew. Well, that was interesting. It started right up. No fuel primer, nothing, just fucking wham. Well, looking around, I didn't see any leaks or anything, but which didn't expect any, but it's a little bit smoky in here. Okay, well, everything's back together. She's running good, and like I said, we're gonna monitor it this season. I'm from Massachusetts, but I ride with my friends over there in the Adirondack Park every weekend. So I'll just bring the same compression tool that I used to measure it, and just every once in a while we'll measure it, see if it's maintaining its pressure. So by the end of the season, we'll know if it's lost any compression. But for the most part, it's running around 110 to 115. It was actually 5 pounds difference, 110 on one cylinder, 110 on the other. 115 on the other cylinder. But I didn't use a screw-in type. I just used a pressure fit. There's a picture of so I'll do the same thing. So it might be pushing a little more compression if I, screwed it into the cylinder instead of just plugging it in with a rubber orifice. But anyways, we're going to measure it, keep an eye on it, see how things go, and I'll keep you updated.